Hi guys, it's MJ Lax here. I decided to record you a short video as I've been so busy. You see me posting more and more. I'm back to investing and trading full time. I mean, you've seen me full time since the summer. But finally, I have good news in terms of kind of being back into big numbers. So the big numbers, 16% on a month in November. So just November is 16%. So I have a lot of friends and family and clients being extremely happy. I'm happy to see the growth of copiers at eToro, and obviously I'm happy with the numbers. So I prefer to record a video. I have a meeting at 7 Portuguese time. I'm in Portugal now, so I think I have about 20 minutes. Let me just see. Yes, 30 minutes, but I need to prepare as well and make a few transactions. So I'll try to keep it to maybe 20-25 minutes and divide it into sections. I will post it like that without my assistant editing it, and I will write a bigger post later on. So I think first of all, let me explain the screens a little bit. So this is my new Refinitiv Premium, access to everything. I have eToro where you see my 18%, 16% up. I have my technical analysis, and I have my Bloomberg, and I'm recording this video. So I'm working just on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens because I'm actually leaving now at the presidential suite at the Hilton, and I mainly decided to do that because it just optimizes my time. So in terms of breakfast and the water they send me over, and literally got a haircut today at the hotel. So I'm really busy. I never really commented about, there's a big mystery about, how much money I manage here and whatnot. I prefer not to speak about that. Sometimes I get the comments, I think yesterday I got a comment, you didn't make any money. I was over 5% up, at some percent at 6.83% up. And let's just say that I've made over five figures on that data. Kind of recently, we've made 16% already in November. So I think put that into perspective. Probably some of you earned that in a year. So I think the only reason I'm saying it, I prefer to say it, not to write it, because I'm quite private about all those things. And I know that not all of you will watch the video, whereas all of you kind of like to comment. My technical analysis can be switched off, but that's fine. So I just wanted to put that into perspective. And so if you think about that, the only reason I say that is that to also help you visualize that this portfolio is very important for me. So actually 20% a year, which is kind of my overall objective, that's usually what the best hedge funds do, is quite a lot of money for me. Obviously I have more risky portfolios out there as well, but it's just to kind of visualize that. And also my fee, which is not really that secret, is about $2,000 a day. So kind of, again, for me to make it worthwhile working all day on eToro, obviously it's not coming from eToro, it's a public information, and I make $400 of being a champion. So hour and a half a month, so hour and a half of work on my CEO advisory. But again, just to put it into perspective, I'm not here to get 2 copiers for $200. I'm more here to build a hedge fund, and I do want to build it to at least $30 million, so it actually starts making sense on eToro as well. But I think I've explained it before. eToro is phenomenal for kind of having a hedge fund that people can copy. It's just the easiest way for me to run it as well, because I can just say, people join and click copy. Whereas, if you have a hedge fund, you have assistants and offices and administration and back office and front office and so on. So I prefer it to be free in the sunny Portugal at the moment. I'm based in Luxembourg, but during this winter I'm here for a month now or so. And as I said, I'm at the moment in a hotel because it's even more optimized for me, so I don't have to worry about anything. I just work. Usually work between 16 usually about 16 hours a day, so kind of 2 full-time jobs. Minimum is 13 from 8 to 21 London time. And so that's already 5 minutes. Just wanted to give you a background. I think I will start about giving you a little bit more context. I wanted to write about it, but it would be a huge post. And then I will talk about our major positions and why we have them and what we've done recently. So in terms of context, there is this quote from Steve Jobs that comes to mind to me all day today. And it said that something along the lines that the heaviness of being successful was replaced by being an amateur again. And that's how I feel on eToro a little bit. So those of you who know the story, I've had about 30% up and 7 months in the green, and I was getting about 30 copies a day, and kind of everyone was talking, oh, you're gonna be number one very soon, and so that was great. And then I plugged the things. That was Bloomberg on that screen before. Now it's Refinitiv Premium, testing all the different tools. Now negotiating with both companies to see which one we're gonna have long term. But bottom line was that I plugged our portfolio into professional risk profilers, and it showed me a risk of around 3 on 10 scale. But because I had some leverage, I touched 7. And well, if you want to argue, you'd say 7 again, but the first that we had 7 was at the crossover of the month. So it's actually for 2 or 3 days, and it touched on another month. So, and I know some of the most popular investors here that always have 5, they had 7, and everyone had it. It's not an excuse, just facts. And here, I've never even seen 6 on the month, but we did touch 7. I think it was when we did a lot of money in Italy on some leverage positions with Bankia and so on. So anyway, we were blocked for 2 months. I lost all the momentum basically because people started leaving, and we went from like 270 copies to about 140. We went from almost 500k AUM to below 300k AUM. And well, that was a bit of a humble pie. I felt quite bad because I felt like what I love is being taken away from me. I mean, obviously I kept trading, but not communicating, keeping my profile very low, and kind of, the more I communicated, the more people said, oh, when can I copy you again? And then we had this huge list of people wanting to copy but couldn't. And it just was very stressful for me to kind of be really against my nature. I love communicating, and if you take eToro communication away, well, that's just another broker. So I do my job, and there's no need for communication. But I actually love that element because also it's easier for me to aggregate everything on eToro. So actually, my friends, I send them to eToro to read my posts, even though they bombard me with WhatsApp messages. But I say, I've talked about that. Check your eToro. So obviously we have more and more posts. It's maybe difficult for some of you to follow, but it also shows you my work ethic. I prefer to communicate. 99% of the people say they love the frequent comments. So obviously there's a question, do I put one comment every few days so it's big and researched? But you can look at them on the weekend. Your job should be as a copier to look at the portfolio from time to time, and you don't have to obsessively look over it. So I do touch on a lot of things. So a lot of you comment on all the posts and read all the posts, and that's the most frequent feedback I receive. So I just continue to share. So you know what's happening. You don't have to call me. In the past, I was always on the phone, always on the plane, always in meetings. Now, obviously, we have COVID, so that is vastly reduced. But even that, I prefer to do that with you here on the video or via frequent posts. than to have one-by-one calls. So apologies for those of you who are used to having me 24/7 and me replying all the time. It's just physically not possible for me anymore. The screens are switched off, so you see it's quite a difficult job to do it 24/7. But anyway, now we have 10 minutes, so I will talk a little bit more about what we have in our portfolio, and there have been some big moves. So let's go through the biggest positions that we have. Number one, Aston Martin. I have spoken about it for so long that I don't think there is a need anymore to say anything more about it. If you look at the enterprise value, EV, and if you look at the brand value, and if you look at the market capitalization, and if you look at everything that's happening with the company, it's just phenomenal. So that's been bringing us quite a bit of money this month. I will say that I'm over 200% on it with X5 on another account, and I haven't even thought about trimming it there. Here we would have more, but I want to keep risk 4 because everything above that is just misleading. So I will manage the portfolio just to keep 4. Obviously, I'm really burned by having touched the risk that I cannot do. So even though I can have 6, I would get already scared to death if I have 5, and I will start trimming. So it will be between 4 and 5, 3 if we think that there's some really crazy things happening, going to happen on the market. Probably I will try to get into 3 maybe at the beginning of next month, just to see what else I need to do to get into 3. But I'm happy with the 4. That keeps me keeps me calm, makes me sleep well, so I know we don't exceed any risk metrics, and there are still 5 and 6 that we could touch, because also ideally I would like to always come back to the initial strategy that made us so much money, and that is to have between 10 and 30% of cash, so then we can redeploy. So I just redeployed cash quite nicely. I think I did it yesterday, I did it today. And then it just allows me to take those opportunities and trim the profits where we kind of something that we really worked. We can trim it, and then we can park it into something that, as you know, I'm usually a bit too early on the stocks, and then they catapult. Although I must say that with the new tools, I've been much better with timing, and that's been recognized by many of you. So I think 16% of the month says it all. And it's really risk managed. It's not like I bought. It's actually not coming from airlines at all. So anyway, and now, so Aston I've talked about. Peloton, another interesting one. We had 14% and we've been trimming and trimming and trimming, taking a massive profit. Now we have about 4% because we reduced it. Why did we reduce it so much? Well, risk management. So we wanted to lower the risk score again. Also I wanted to have it around 130, buying at 80, so I trimmed there. That was the initial idea. I do think it will go to 160, but the potential, I always call it upside potential. Well, it's a financial term, it's a technical term. You need to think about, many of you missed that point, and quite emotional about why did you sell this or why did you move into that. Well, listen, if we have 10% of Peloton, right, and let's say 0% of Dropbox, but both have the upside percent of 50%, well, it's not a good financial move to have 10 and 0, right? Even if I think Peloton was absolutely amazing and Dropbox is good, it's still better to have 7 to 3, right? Or even 8 to 2. Because if they have the same upside potential, I will reduce our risk and diversify into assets with the same upside potential. So if Dropbox moves 40%, I can close it and move it to Peloton again, but we realize the upside, right? So you always have to remember that. So if we already had, almost everything had a bigger upside potential than Peloton at that time, or not almost everything, but a lot of stocks, and we had the biggest exposure. So that's how I work. We had to trim it. It doesn't mean we will not buy it back, because if it goes close to 80 again, massively back. Beyonce just announced the partnership with it, so we are about 6% up on it today, so that's great. But you need to take that into consideration. Now, what else is huge? We bought Energy Transfer in the US. We've made a lot on oil-related companies. So Repsol, we've done a lot, closed it or entirely. We still have Shell, we've done a lot. We've done the most on SM Energy, that was just huge. A ton of money made on that one. Also trimmed it and stop loss exited us a little bit before another massive app. And ET has not been really growing that much. We bought it and the day was up, but it's so hugely, my metric shows me it's the most undervalued company in that sector. And it's actually about a fourth as risky as SM Energy. And it reported very good results. So we absolutely love that stock from the valuation perspective. I wouldn't say it's my favorite company in the world, but it deserves a big place in the portfolio. I expect some big moves there, and we'll start trimming when we see the profit. I don't really see the price going down anymore, and especially with the price of oil, if you compare where it is, I don't think it's gonna go down. Now, another thing that we've done, we have been shorting. What's interesting, and then finally we've done it. I've been a bit more careful about that because I have some. It took me some time to learn all the indices and ETFs on eToro. I've used to trade indices with huge leverage before. I'm scared to do that on eToro because I have no idea what it's gonna do to the risk score. But I have found that SQQQ and TQQQ are excellent instrument for Nasdaq. I've been bearish on it, so I used to use only SQQ, but now when Nasdaq had this massive slump and everything seemed like okay, it's bottom out. We bought a lot of TQQQ and we closed it at 30% profit, which was amazing because I actually wanted to buy maybe Amazon and Apple and things like this. I said, okay, it's oversold, but this instrument was even better. It's an ETF, so it's a diversification to the portfolio. So we made 13% of that. And yesterday I bought SQQ and we made 15% on it close today. So these are the instruments I like a lot, and I think for the future will make us a lot of money. We closed Netflix short with profit. We closed Norwegian Airlines today with profit as well. So this sometimes what I do often, which you should maybe know. I think if you're not an experienced trader, it may be quite difficult for you to do. But very often I would open a position, let it run our way. It's already, let's say, maybe 10-15% up. And then if I want to close it, I don't always close it, but sometimes I just move an SL very tightly. So let's say today we had SQQQ at like 21, and now I was like, okay, I want to sell it, but I moved the stop loss at maybe 20.69, I think it was, and it exited us there when it went against us, because I've learned already that many times I close, but it still goes massively up. So I prefer to do that. Especially now that I do it 24/7, so I can see, because we've been exited on SL in very bad ways at market open, and eToro is just something that's, it's not the best on the platform. The spreads sometimes are killing us, and then we've lost a lot of money on that. But the good news is that, well, a lot of percentage points, so we're still like 20% in a year, but if I knew all the platform, would probably be 30 at the very least. So I'm happy that I've learned all of that. It's very good news for the copiers and obviously the new copiers as well, because since we had 2 months to work on the risk and everything eToro related, we now have the opportunity to do it with much more effectively. There is a surprise company that actually was not allowed to be traded on eToro before. It's now open. I encourage you to go to the portfolio and have a look. It's kind of our new favorite. I bought it quite heavily today. I spoke with some people in the industry about it, and I'm actually quite bullish on it. Other than that, we've made a lot on the UK stocks finally. So that's a big, reason for our massive outperformance against the others. Please put in the comments below. I'm not sure if we have the best performance among the most popular investors, champion or elite. I'm not sure, but I think a discussion that I had with some people who are close or in the program, I think 16%, over 16%. I'm probably the only one here. So my couples are very happy, and there's more and more joining. I actually see a lot of people rejoining. So those of you maybe left during the period where I had a high risk, left, and they're coming back today. There's a few of them. So warm welcome back. I'll give you a shout out to all of you individually. I think what's important to say is that yeah, we are mainly back to what we know best and what makes us the most money, right? So I think I'm a little bit less shorting Tesla, a little bit more knowledgeable, much more knowledgeable about eToro, but a little bit more coming back to, you know, being in Aston, being in Porsche, being in things I know, and I let go of things like NEO and don't try to jump on everything. And I do invest in a lot of value stocks. The good thing is that during the good times, we tend to outperform the good times for us and bad for other people. Maybe we tend to outperform because I like to trim. If something boom goes, like, let's say I have an upside potential of 80% and it goes 50% up, I like to trim that position and then park it into something that's hugely undervalued. And having a diversified portfolio that allows us to then outperform, because there's always something jumping finally. Because, you know, if I have one stock and I have to wait 6 months for it, it's not so great. Now we have about 36. We used to have even more. So there are a lot of them just exploding, and then I can take profit and maybe park into something like ET or the stocks I just bought. And then, you know, we're not so time sensitive, so we can wait. And that allowed me, you know, I've been doing it for 17 years that way, and that allows me always to, you know, to kind of outperform in the sense that I can, you know, people say that markets can stay unreasonable longer than you can stay liquid. Well, the choice for that for value investor or kind of, you know, more like improved MTP and improved value, is to diversify massively across regions, geographies, and industries, and asset classes, and so on. So that way I can buy something undervalued and then wait for it to grow, but it doesn't have to be tomorrow. But as I said, the timing has dramatically improved, so I will actually continue using that tools. And I think I have them until 19th, and then I need to make a call. And for that, I also will tell you about my goal. So I'm now across to 300k AUM again. Next up is 500k for elite. So if you're thinking about copying, this month is great. And I look forward to crossing 500. That's really important for me, because then our red star will turn into green star. So that's just a cosmetic change for you. I mean, well, we have more credibility, but for me, it would be just great in terms of, well, reaching the kind of highest status. And also we will be then moving into percentage terms. And that's also where the big guns will be kind of unleashed, and obviously we'll really focus on asset under management. So I think that's it. 23 minutes, I think it's quite good. I didn't want to make it 35. I hope you like it. Please leave a comment. Please like the video. Please let me know what would you like me to talk about, and enjoy the profits, and hope it's gonna be up from now only. Take care, guys. All the best.